Hello there, everyone. Welcome to a new Let's Play with me, your host, Tim. And today, we're going to start playing Abiotic Factor together. There's some prep here that you can skip by going to the slider up here on YouTube and adjusting it to the appropriately segmented spot, or clicking on one of those timestamps down in the video's description in case you want to skip ahead to where we actually start playing the game. We're going to prattle on for a bit about what type of game this is, if I've played it before and how far I gotten into if I did, why we're playing the game together, and any Timisms we'll be doing together when we play this game. This will take a while, viewer, because we're also going to do character creation. You should expect this prep part to be like 15 or 20 minutes. If you don't care about any of that, once again, please skip ahead. Alright, let's go and get started. Abiotic Factor is a first-person survival game set in a rather unique setting. It would be akin to, say, playing Half-Life or System Shock 2. A bit kind of like Prey, actually, in that we are in a research facility and we are trying to survive in it. We will need to gather supplies, manage our hunger, food, tired, and bathroom needs in this game, amongst other things, while trying to adventure through the facility to find a way out of it, which will end up being more than just that as we proceed onward. I don't want to ruin the lore or story, but we will find it together as we play. But just know that if you like crafting games, hoarding resources, making progress, unlocking stuff in the story, and getting more powerful with better equipment and weapons as you proceed forward, this game nails it. It's done a fantastic job on these aspects. And I have played this game before. I have been playing this game since it more or less first arrived in early access, so for quite some time now. Whenever the game has released a new content patch, I have started over a new character to play through the game from the beginning to the end, and I have been playing on dedicated servers with my family as well. As such, I have seen what was in the game before. I have seen most of what the game has. The last time I played through this game in its totality would be back in early October, was when I wrapped up my last playthrough. As such, I have seen everything or most things that were up to the reactor. I have not seen, however, or the reactor's area, if I recall the name correctly. I have not seen, however, the new Halloween-themed area that they released for the game. I didn't go into the portal there, so that would be new. But most of the other things I am aware of. I have sunk hundreds of hours into this game. I am aware of where most of the secrets are. I know how to build things. I know how to be somewhat efficient at the things that we are going to be doing on screen as well. You should not expect there to be too many things that are newish to me, although developers of this game do release new stuff in old areas. I think there are at least 2, potentially 3 new areas in prior, new things to see in prior areas that I have been through before. So those things will be new, as will any new equipment or changes that they've done to existing equipment. But once again, this will not be new. I know how to do most things. This video in that regard will, I guess this in the second video, will be also kind of centered around a bit of a tutorial that I'll be doing. I will not go to any great in-depth lengths to do a tutorial, but I will be explaining things as we are doing them, as we get to each individual thing. So hopefully, if you find this video for Abiotic Factor, it's your first one that you're seeing on this game, hopefully it will prove to be a little useful in that regard too. Why we're playing this game? 3 things, viewer. I was in the mood to play an FPS and record it. This game is totally one of those. Since I wanted to play this game in its totality, well, oh my goodness, I can't say it, from the beginning again, I figured, well, why not record it this time? Maybe I can do a decent job at it. Thus, it follows that need. And number 2, I am recording this game in a different room in my house, on a different computer. There's different acoustics set up, and I'm using a different configuration for my OBS. And I figured, well, why not test all this? Because I would like to record games in this room as well as my den in the other room. And thus, here we are. Hopefully things are coming out okay. On that note though, viewer, you should know one very important thing. Oh, actually, multiple important things, but this one in particular for my recording session here. I cannot cut the recording. This is my third attempt at recording the first 2 hours of this game, which is to say I've done it twice, and afterwards things were no good. If this is also no good when I'm done, then this will never hit the channel. If you are seeing this, then it means things at least looked and sounded acceptable to me. I get audio and visual tearing if I put cuts into the video. So as such, if I have to get up and do something, there will be no cut. I'll just have to leave the game running, go and do that thing, and come back. Okay, for Timisms, there's several here. Number one, we will be playing on a dedicated server that I have stood up. There's a good reason why I want to play on a dedicated server as opposed to playing on a local server. We will cover that difference when we see how it impacts us. Just know that this is what I will be doing here. There is nothing wrong with playing on a local server. It is perfectly, absolutely 100% fine, but things are a little different between them that you wouldn't think would be different. And as such, I want to take advantage of some of those different things. And once again, I'll describe them when we see them. There's lots of stuff to read in this game, viewer, on emails and your PDA system as you unlock information about the creatures that you find, locations that you visit, and people that you meet, as well as several other things of import. We will be reading all the emails when we see them, and any other texts that we find. Unlocks, however, in the PDA will wait for dedicated videos to them, or where it makes sense for us to do so. In other words, if I can't be improving my situation by working on our base or trying to gain resources, and instead I am forced to potentially sometimes not do those things due to in-game events, during those events is when I will stop to read our PDA. We'll read about the creatures that we've unlocked, for example, or so on. Otherwise, though, I will probably briefly cover the topic of how useful your PDA is with some of these things and why you should pay attention to it, but we won't go into it in any great detail. I walk everywhere, viewer. You should see that here. I'm not going to be running around like a crazy person, even though there is a reason to do so, because you get what's called sprinting experience points, which helps you. We will cover your statistics at a later point, but I still walk everywhere, so you should expect that here too. I like walking around and chatting with you guys as we look at things. I'll be mentioning when things are new or don't remember them compared to previously. If this is your first Abiotic factory that you're ever seeing, it won't make any sense, but I'm still going to say it anyway because it gives me something to talk about as we play the game. So once again, on that note, I suppose you should also know, that's a bunch of words basically to let me say that this will not be a silent Let's Play. I will be chatting with you guys as we play this game, as I often do. We have one house rule we'll be using in the game, viewer. I will do my best to follow it, but there's no guarantee because, once again, it's a house rule, not something the game does itself. And that is that the weapon animation reloads for all types of, or various types of munitions that involve magazines. I will wait to reload them until the number of rounds in the magazine is 0. Or we're out of combat and I'm back at base. This is because the animation does not discard the magazine. You don't count out the ammo that is in it. You just immediately replace it like most games. And it always feels wrong to me. I prefer games that do things like how Northern Journey did it rather than how Half-Life did it. But whatever, I can use a house rule for it, so that's what we're going to do here. And viewer, I think that's about it. So with all that said, I can't put a cut here, Tim. Oh man, okay, can't put a cut here. All right, so let's go ahead and just now begin. Let's do character creation and how we're going to start this game. There is a tutorial in the form of this introduction. The introduction is actually pretty good. It's got a little bit of lore in it, and it shows you the bare basics of how to play the game. But it doesn't cover some things that I feel are kind of really important to cover. And since I know everything that this is going to basically be doing, we're gonna, well, maybe we do the tutorial, and this entire first video is just getting us to the actual game itself. Let's do the tutorial. Let's do it. I normally don't like doing the tutorial, viewer, because, well, I can describe everything in the tutorial. You know what? How about this, viewer? I'm going to skip the introduction, and I will do the introduction last, as opposed to first. So you'll get an idea of what transpired to start us in this video at the end of the video, not the beginning of it. Okay, because then I can start playing the game immediately and get to the meat and potatoes, which is what most of you guys will care about. Then anyone who doesn't care about the tutorial can just, click off the video. Go watch something different. All right, so with that said, let's now play the game, kind of. We have to do character creation. Starting a new game will start us up on the local server, or I can join a server, which lets me, join a dedicated server, or join someone else's local game. I'm going to go ahead and join a server. It would help if I don't hit caps lock. This should be running. It is. And I believe the story has been reset at the very beginning of the game. Okay, let's go ahead and join in. Oh, no, I have to do this first. Okay, I have modified our game viewer, and in the nature of explaining what the differences are, because it is important, let's cover them here. My server is being run on hard mode. What this means is that enemies will have much quicker reaction times, there will be more enemies, and they see you from greater distances away and are more aggressive at pursuing you. I didn't like the, I guess we'll talk about changes. I didn't like the changes that occurred at some time early on in early access, where they greatly reduced the number of creatures that were walking around in the labs. So hard mode puts back many of those initial spawns, and I very much like it. It will add quite a bit of difficulty to the game, and in ways I generally like. Enemies, to my knowledge, do not do any increased damage, nor do they have greatly increased hit points. It might be very slight, and I like when difficulty settings just add more things for you to deal with, rather than making you a glass cannon and making enemies bullet sponges. So we're going to be playing, my server runs on hard mode. There are some other changes I've done to the server. First off, my sinks do not refill in this world. The game hints that this is much more challenging. It isn't challenging at all. This is 100% a lie. The game is really, well, this does not impact the difficulty of the game at all, in my experience. I have made it so that enemies do an extra 20% damage to us. So this is going to add up very quickly, given the increased speed at which creatures attack. We will be under greater amounts of threat earlier on in the game with this change. Enemies also do an extra 100% damage on my server compared to normal. In this way, my structures are threatened by many attacks that enemies possess. I have increased the amount of experience points that I earn on my server by 20%, a flat 20% to every single thing that can earn experience points. I have played through the entirety of this game multiple times, viewer. I am not interested in spending as many hours grinding out things. And so as such, I felt, this is fine. Just increasing it by an extra percentage. What else is there? All my items will lose 50% durability upon my death, and my death penalty is I lose every item I have equipped, wherever it was equipped. My backpack, I'm wearing it, it's on my hotbar. All of it gets dropped right then and there where I die. I would normally play with all items are destroyed, but the game sometimes kills you and it's not your fault. If, for example, sometimes I disembark from a vehicle, the vehicle may spawn me under the world, where I plummet to my death and die. This is unacceptable if I want to play with all items destroyed. It is an early access, I didn't mention this. It is an early access game, and as such, I expect things like that to occur. I'm also playing on a dedicated server where these things can occur more frequently than I would like them to occur. And as such, I don't play Iron Man mode or lose all items in a game that has that. The local server does not have these issues, but we're playing on a dedicated server instead. So as such, once again, lose everything, but not destroy everything. And I think, viewer, that is it for the changes in my world. So with that said, now we can go ahead and join. This is the warning that, hey, the server's running with some alterations that don't have things set to their defaults. You always get this pop-up, no matter how often you've joined this server. There's no way to say, yes, this is acceptable, other than hitting join and waiting through that pop-up. Of course, my server is password protected. We will be the only ones playing on this server, by the way, viewer. No one else will join us. Okay, and now it's time to make our character. So we have to cover a few things here about character creation. Your character's visuals, which is to say their hair color, you're a dude or a girl, what skin tone you have, all of those are kept on your character 100% of the time, no matter which server you are joining. Those are always the same. But your statistics and your perks are different, as are your equipment, the way it looks if you're using what's the equivalent of a transmogrifier in this world. If you want to make your armor look like something different, not the armor that you actually are wearing. So as such, this is the first time I am joining this server, I need to create a new character. So I get some starting statistics and some perks. We need to cover these briefly, however, before we get going. These jobs start you, many of them, with starting statistics. Any character, to my knowledge, can level any statistic in the game that they want. It's akin to, say, starting a character in Underrail, and then deciding that, oh, you know what? Now that I'm playing the game, I want to be putting points into this new skill, rather than going with the things I started with. Nothing locks you into those particular skills. You can start with something in particular. On that note, it is very easy to level most starting skills for their first initial points. So, the lab assistant starts with 3 sprinting, 3 sneaking, and 2 strength. Strength and sprinting are rather easy to get early game. I would not consider this to be that beneficial. Sneaking can be a little annoying to level in the beginning portions of the game, and 3 sneaking, you can save yourself maybe about 20-30 minutes by starting with 3 sneaking, as opposed to just getting it in the game itself by spending time improving it. This is so I mention these things as an example. Some things are more annoying to level, other things are very easy to level. We're not going to cover those things. Just be aware that the numbers you see here are your, I guess we should call them skills, not statistics, are your skills, and you can take any skill you can improve any skill you want. It's not too difficult. Don't feel you're missing out too much by not having starting skills. The points you have here are not spent on skills, but on perks. You can never, to my knowledge, get a perk beyond character creation. So if there's perks you want more starting points here. On that note, the different jobs you start with do give you different amounts of starting points. Some jobs also have miscellaneous passives that others do not have. Lab Assistant has nothing special about them in particular other than the starting skills and 10 starting points. The, how do I pronounce this? Bionomicist actually gains faster experience points when they craft first aid items. This is so if you really want to heal people or yourself, you'll level first aid faster if you picked this job as opposed to lab assistant. You can still level the same skills once again, but you'll level first aid faster if you picked that class. There are several others that have that sort of perk. The defense analyst, for example, gains extra experience points, I believe. Does it even say so? Oh, it doesn't say this any longer. I am pretty sure the defense analyst, for example, gains extra accuracy and reloading experience points, but suffers a penalty to all other types of skills that they would be able to earn experience points for. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and pick the lab assistant. Nothing really special about extra experience points that we earn. I do want some extra starting stealth. I think it'd be kind of fun to make it like a Garrett type of character. So that's what we're going to try to do. So we start with 3 sprinting, 3 sneaking, and 2 extra strength, and 10 starting points. Points are spent, as I mentioned, to take perks. These, I'm calling them perks. They're called traits here, but it reminds me of the old Fallout perk system, where you can get some really beneficial things here, and you also can take negative perks to earn more positive perk points. I'm not going to go over which one of these are great versus which one of these are bad. I'm just going to pick some and tell you what I think of the ones I'm picking, and then we'll get going. I'm going to start with dry skin. So this means our thirst meter decreases faster. We have to drink more often than not. Generally, once you're done with like day 3 in game, being thirsty is never an issue. We will not have any trouble keeping our desire for drinking low. It'll be easy. So as such, I view this as a free 3 points. We could also pick something else, but I think that's probably good enough, at least at this moment. The other skills, some of these are really bad, like you never want to pick them, and others are just so-so, but dry skin and weak bladder is another good one to pick. It's not really that much of a penalty, those two. The others are, once again, so-so or really bad, so we're not going to pick any others. For positive traits, I will mention that Fanny Pack is an amazing positive trait. It's not even a trait. It's a permanent item that you have that gives you 2 extra hotbar slots. That is an incredible bonus. Like, amazing bonus. That. We're not picking that for this character. But it is incredible. It was the first trait I picked on my very first character who was able to access it. Fantastic. Love this trait. We're not taking it. But if you are playing a character viewer, I would highly recommend you get the points to take Fanny Pack. It is incredible. Alright, so for us, we're going to go ahead and pick Inconspicuous. We get extra sneaking, we start with 2 more sneaking, and enemies take an even longer amount of time to detect us, assuming we are sneaking. Starting with 5 sneaking, that can take a bit of time to get. And as such, well, I wouldn't mind starting with it. It'll make 1 or 2 early areas in the game a little easier for us too, if we can sneak around the creatures they're in. I'm going to take Self-Defense. We deal an extra 3 damage with all melee weapons whenever we deal damage with them. This will make faster weapons better for us, and slower weapons not as important. We'll cover weapons when we get to using weapons. Finally, we have 4 points left over. Good ones to take are probably early on Light Eater, although this isn't really a concern once you hit the... It's not really that big of a deal, requiring that much less food. Once again, it is very... I suppose I should preface this with this as well. All of this changes in multiplayer. The more people you have, the more food you need, the more water you're going through, but also hopefully people are dedicating their time to dealing with some of these things. So it could potentially be an issue if you're running out of food because everyone's eating food. But if some people are going out hunting and some people are spending all their time cooking, it isn't an issue. That said, on a single player game, this isn't really that good. Night Arrow could be useful because it impacts us 100% of the time, and we get less fatigue. Could earn more experience also. Why don't we take? I mean, this wrinkly brain meat just means I have to do less grinding. And since I'm recording this game, I will pick it. This does combine with the extra experience points we earn from the server, so I'll be earning 40% more experience points with everything we do. Okay, I think that's good for a character. Let's go ahead and start. You get a warning like, hey, this is the only time you get to do this sort of thing, and we're not going to let you, at least at the moment, we're not going to let you change this ever again when you start playing the game. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Alright, everyone, here we are. We'll do the tutorial afterwards. I will cut the recording and see if I can go ahead and add it into this video, which will explain why we're here, but I'll give you a quick rundown. We are new to this facility, but we have worked for the Cascade facilities, that's the name of the organization we are working for, before. We come from a different location, though, and are getting accustomed to working here. We did their tutorial run-through, just to make sure that we are aware of how things may possibly work differently here, and that we're not a total noob. And then, on our way down the elevator, something went wrong, and the elevator was directed to stop on this level. And thus, we begin.
I don't think we've met.
No, I don't think we have, Dr. Thule. Good morning.
Ah, you're stuck here too, eh? I came down from level 8 for a coffee. Now I'm locked in here for God knows how long. It'll be those fools on level 3 overreacting again. Looks like Jaeger's locked out. Typical. See if you can let him in. Maybe he knows what's happened. But take your time. He's insufferable.
Alright, let's cover a few things here on the GUI before we get going. Your health is on the far lower left-hand side. There's that bar over there under the heart. Our character's damage that we've taken to different body parts will be displayed on the our person icon on the right of that. The X, I don't remember what that little pie chart is there. We currently have a buff. That's the smiling coffee mug that's above us. We have the inventory, what time it is, and emotes there as well, down in the lower left-hand corner. A hotbar is in the center lower portion of the screen. This is how we check our meter. By pressing X, we can see how hungry we are. This will decrease when we get more hungry. How thirsty we are. How urgently we need to use the restroom. How sleepy we are. And any buffs or penalties will be listed here, as well as the bonuses that they give you if you hover over them. We have to worry about temperature a little bit. Those are located here. Anything else odd that's going on will be located in these areas, as well as we can directly use medical items from this screen if we so wish. They'll show up over here if we have a medical item that requires us to use it. We can hit T to look at our wristwatch. We are not in the actual tutorial, but this is kind of still a tutorial at this moment. Time will not progress until we have gone through that door all the way over there, which we see that really annoying bubble, that's new, until we get into the lobby that's beyond it, time will not advance. However, your needs will. So it won't become night, per se, because it can't allow you to do that given what they need you to do in this game, this part of the game, for reasons we'll see later. But you will become hungry, thirsty, you will become tired, you'll have to use the bathroom, so keep that in mind. The more time you spend here, you still have to worry about those things. We also see what day it is and what temperature it is on our wristwatch. The day matters, the temperature matters a little. That's it for that. These are our emotes. We'll cover those later. Yeah, inside the game. Unless we have an inventory. Because we picked the lab assistant, we actually start with lab gloves. Here we go, let's read about them. Sleek white gloves, typically worn by lab workers, gives us 1 point of armor for our arms. When you are struck in combat by enemies, where they strike you will be, the damage you take is reduced by the armor in that area. Similar to, say, Underrail or the Warrior of Ras 3, The Wild, if you ever played that Commodore game.
If Jaeger thinks I'm crawling through the vents to let him in, he's got another thing coming.
Let's look at our PDA. There's also sorts of information you can gain here. Information that is specific to an area of the game. This is the tutorial. And this is where we currently are located. You can click here and see if interesting information. There'll be a few notes here about maybe what you should be doing, as well as any maps you have of the area will show up here. You have these different dates, but these like days of the week, but I don't think this ever changes. These are always the same, I think. And this is your compendium part of your PDA. Any information you know about various people, creatures, just the whole entire registry of all this stuff, places you've been, or information you gain will be here. You can go over emails that you've read here as well previously. You can fish for stuff. Any fish details will be located here. Any soups you know how to make will be located on this section. We'll cover this more in depth later.
They always pick the worst possible time to lock the place down.
That's the case in real life too. When I'm working in the labs and we get a fire drill, man, come on. It's always right when we're doing something super important. Now, Dr. Thule mentioned crawling through the vents, which would hint that this door is going to be locked. You can kick doors open, but that's only if they're stuck. A door, you can tell if a door is stuck because it opens only part way, in which case you kind of have to kick it to get it open the rest of the way. You will not be able, however, to kick open, to my knowledge, any locked doors. We can't get to him. A bathroom? Got the standard, what am I looking for? Amenities, I think is the word. You can't wash your hands in this game in so much that we can't use any soap, and it's not required after you use the restroom to do so. I was always doing so, but it's a good waste of water. We'll cover cleaning yourself a little later. Hey, what is why are these in the bathroom? Why is there chef hats in here? Well, let's go ahead and put it in our head. Chef's hat. Increases corpse cutting speed. The hallmark of a true chef. Well, you look like you can cook anyway. Grab some paper scrap. Items in this game are stored according to the type of item. A gigantic couch will take up 1 space in your inventory. You can hold up to 256 paper scraps in a single point of your inventory as well, for example. But like a bed, a sofa, a working desk won't take up any more space than 1. Items do, however, have weight associated with them. You do have to care about your carry capacity or weight allowance. Hello? Anyone in the ladies' room? I'm coming in. No, it doesn't look like there's anything extra here. And we didn't see any vents in the men's room, and it doesn't look like there's any in the ladies' room either. There's a first aid kit here. Ah, and we learned how to make things. Why don't we cover crafting a little bit now? Most of the things you craft in this game will require something called a powered crafting bench, or things that are similar to it. There's a handful of things you can make, however, on the fly. A net, a throwing net, is one of those things. A throwable net, great for temporarily trapping small creatures, leaving them vulnerable. This net might even confuse a larger creature for a short while. Nets are amongst the more useful things you'll have early on in the game, but they fall off by the time you get to probably the mid portion of the early game. Still, having a few of those right now would be really, really useful. Well, that's a lot of blood. Those are bullets on the ground over there. Oh. I somehow don't think that was supposed to look like that. What happened down here that this place is like this? The facility is looking like it's in bad shape. Something's making some sounds. This is a storage room? This is storage. Looks like the only thing they're storing in here is duct tape. Landing cushion. A landing cushion will reduce the damage that you take, possibly nullifying it, if you land on the cushion. The greater the distance you fall, though, the more likely you will still end up taking damage from your fall. You also must have the landing cushion on the ground before you begin that fall. If you, I don't think it's really feasible to place it on the ground as you hit it. Can't get through this either. We can push things. We can't punch anything. We are a rather feeble scientist, I believe. At least at this point. We can break down things by looking at them and holding down the is it package or breakdown action there. You learn about this in the basic tutorial. Dismantle is what it's called. You want everything at the beginning of the game. It's a bit like Don't Starve in that regard. Take everything. You will put almost anything. Most things in the game will be put to good use. Cloth scraps, more cloth scraps. Let's make some more nets. Well, yeah, we will make 2 more. Oh, and by the way, you get 3 throwing nets per craft. So we should have 9 nets now. We're sticking to our left at the moment. Ah, good old Deus Ex and Half-Life vent crawling. We've got a problem here. This spitting fan will kill you if you touch it. When we die, as we have learned in from my earlier parts, because of the way I've set it up, all our items will drop on the ground where we died. And any item that has a durability, like I think our gloves, yes, and our chest hat will lose 50% of that durability. You will then respawn with, I think, all of your character's needs handled, like your hunger and thirst will reset, as well your hit points. And if you do not have a spawn location, by default you will spawn exactly where we started from, the elevator here in the office. Whatever it is, it's making that sound. And we are now chilly. We'll explain temperatures at a later time. We will explain experience, though, at this point. We gain experience points by doing the things related to that EXP. In this case, we are earning sneaking experience points. As long as we are near a creature and it is not aware of us, we will earn a little bit of sneaking experience points. We are earning a little more than normal, 4 or 5 points, because once again we took wrinkly brain meat, and because the server's earning us an extra 20% experience points. Normally you'd earn 2 or 3 points, but it's hovering near this creature called a carbuncle. If the creature is moving, you will earn more experience points staying behind it as it is moving around. Quite a bit more. Normally you earn, as you can see, 2 or 3 experience points. We're earning 4 through 5. If the creature was moving, we'd earn about 17 points of sneaking experience points every time it would tick. And there's something about the carbuncle. We'll take a quick look at it, but like the quickest looks at it. It will show up someplace here. Here it is. There's a second thing we can unlock for this creature. We only unlock the first by walking into this room past it. We can also make bandages. We're going to make 2 of those. You can be bled in this game. To my knowledge, bleeding does not expire. It will eventually kill you, so you want to bandage yourself to stop that from occurring. I think maybe there's a few other items that also handle bleeding in addition to healing you. Don't quote me on that, though. I don't believe I've ever let a bleed occur for more than a few seconds. I always will try to cure it. And this is our first monster. Once again, it's not moving. We are near it, so we're earning some sticking experience points. And it'd probably be best for us to kill this thing. Teach you how to do this in the tutorial. Let's put what we didn't see to good use. Gotcha! Bam! Netting a pest is what that creature is called. Will allow you to stomp on it and immediately kill it for a single bioscrap. Guess we should read all this stuff we're picking up. Bioscrap, a heap of biological scrap. Might come in handy, not to be confused with for actual food. We cannot eat this. Metal scrap, a pile of metal, definitely useful for crafting. Tech scrap, handful of random technological junk, and duct tape, used in crafting recipes and can repair items in a pinch. I think you can hurt yourself if you walk into these vents. Sorry, those fans. It's no more duct tape. No one else is ever going to take it, so we might as well grab it. Glad this place is lit, too. It would be a lot more difficult if there was no emergency lights on. There's the pest information we earned for walking into this vent after that, past that creature. And now we can talk a little bit about lootables, we'll call them in the game. Boxes, toolboxes, things you can open up and search. Where they are located is, to my knowledge, always the same. Oh, I should explain what I just did, too. Okay, hold on. What they have in them, though, can be different. We got a screwdriver and 2 duct tapes from this. It might be, though, randomly chosen from a pool of items that can appear in toolboxes. We can also pick up the toolbox by packaging it first. Packaging is how you pick up all big things in the world that aren't like, well, hypodermic needles to heal you, bullets, food, and stuff like that. Things like the structures in like Don't Starve, for example, your chests, a bed, an oven. Those can be packaged, many of them, and they will then appear as a thing you can pick up and it goes in your inventory. We'll talk more about inventory in a little bit. Just in case the toolbox didn't have a screwdriver, they give you one here. In order to take in order to package most things, you need a screwdriver in your inventory. It doesn't need to be on your hotbar, but you do need it. This is true for all things like a sofa, a refrigerator, desks or tables. Sometimes, the game will highlight things for you to indicate that you can interact with them. This very rarely happens. It happens here in the tutorial, I think in 2 other places. In this case, the game's drawing our attention to these metal pipes. Let's go ahead and disassemble one. I'm sure nothing is impacted by us taking that apart. We learned how to make a few new things. Boom bait and a chef's counter. Boom bait we can make just right here and right now. Let's make one and show you how this works. A device that emits a beeping noise to attract enemies, then a damaging detonation. You get 3 of them per craft. Let's show you how they work. And I immediately fell in love with this game when I saw this room. This is exactly what I was hoping for. It feels very similar to Half-Life. Now down over there, I can see it, is another pest. Doesn't see us yet. Let's go ahead and throw one of these boom baits down there. In about 12 seconds or so, the boom bait will explode. It's enough damage to kill a pest. Should have done it. Alright. This symbol means we can carve up the pest. You can get food bits from it or bioscrap, but we need something sharp to carve it up. We don't possess a knife or a spear or a sword or anything that could do so. More pipes, though. That one looks kind of important. Oh yeah, I'm gonna stay. Anything else down here? Flashlight. Have ourselves some of that. The flashlight is uses energy or battery power, which is that yellow bar beneath it. As it remains on, that bar decreases. It lasts quite a bit longer than the normal flashlight did in, for say, Half-Life and the like, but it will eventually run out. You'll need to recharge it. You need a recharging station to actually do such a thing. These are power sockets. They are not recharging stations, although they can power one, if you make one, a recharging station that is. We'll cover power sockets in the future. Actually, we'll cover one of them kind of soon. Most power sockets, many things that you craft that are like a, is that right? There are many things in the game, there are things in the game that require power, like a refrigerator, or an oven or stove top, and you'll need to be able to link them to a power source of some sort power sockets are the best way, and probably well, no matter what, you're going to need to find a power socket somewhere, even to power batteries that you create. And so, pay attention to where they're located. You're going to want to remember to be able to use them later. Interacting with things in the world could possibly give you other recipes. It used to be that you had to actually package them and then pick them up in your inventory, but now apparently just interacting with things will give you this information. This is a computer terminal. You can read emails here which explain what's going on with the world and potentially learn recipes from this or other PDA unlocks. Cooking. Hey Imamura. I'm looking for a gift for a friend of mine who loves cooking. Any thoughts? They want to be a chef? Give him a knife. Until you chop it up, you can't cook it. And you learn about making a shiv. I have never made the shiv. I've always gotten a knife in the kitchen, which we are right next to. So, I mean, I suppose if the game didn't spawn a knife, this gives you an option to actually now make a weapon. But to make a shiv, don't we need pens to make a shiv? We'll explain all of this, viewer, very soon. It's a tool. We need pens. Yeah, okay, so we can't make this even if the game's going to have to give us a knife up ahead. I'm pretty sure. Pens are not something we'll find right away. I hear another pest somewhere. Oh, there's one. Let's see if boom bait can be used here. No, it knows it's there, but it doesn't care about it. It's still going to do its normal patrol route. About there. I knew about the pest around the corner. I apologize. I probably should not be metagaming as much as I am right now, but I know there's one there. And it looks like that boom bait will work on it. Oh, it might be leaving soon. Hey! Alright, we killed the creature. Boom baits are actually extremely situational in terms of usefulness. Arguing to the point where they are not very useful. I don't think we'll be making boom bait again. It is neat to show you. Alright, let's fight a pest this time. Pests. Leap into the air and then attack and then whirl at you like a flying hedgehog. Look at that. As long as you move out of the way, you should be under no trouble from them. Their attacks do very little damage, but they can bleed you. You stuck down there? Woo! That was close. Almost got me right in the face. Yes! Alright. One dead pest. Someone's cooking something. A cooked pork chop. You have meters to manage in this game. Food, thirst, sleep, and bathroom needs. You can cook food, bits from pests, if you put them onto a pan first. Note that we see these little dots on our screen. This means we're picking up some radiation. The amount of dots that we're seeing relates to the amount of radiation that we're beginning to gain. Notice that the pest bit we have in our hand has a radiation symbol on it in our hotkey down here, our hotbar. This indicates this thing is emitting radiation. The amount it's emitting is very low. An uncooked head of a pest will cause sickness and vomiting, uncooked, dangerous radiation when ingested. We should not ingest animal bits that have not been cooked. Once again, they emit radiation. Let's talk about radiation briefly. As long as you are gaining radiation, it's going to sound a bit weird to say, but it'll make sense in a bit. You will not lose radiation. In other words, as long as we carry this pest head with us, our radiation will be increasing and will not decrease naturally. If we have no form of radiation around us, we will slowly lose radiation over time. Early game, it's important to manage the amount of animal bits you are devouring. Because even though we cook this, it still gives us radiation when ingested. That said, we're hungry. We will eat some of it. I am clicking on the hotbar and pressing G to drop the item from my hotbar. You can do so from your inventory management as well by dragging the item over the drop item thing right there, and you'll drop it and whole stacks of it on the ground. If you have a stack of items, you can drop them individually by doing what I just mentioned, hitting G, for example, to drop each individual bandage. If we dropped all of them, if we want to drop all of them at once, we can just do that. And then they're in a stack of 2, in this case, for our bandages. I guess we can take some of the aprons, more cloth scraps. Probably can make another bandage for ourselves. We can probably eat this as well. You'll note that there's some green meters now as well. Our knife has a green meter, as did this the piece of meat we just had. That is the item's durability. Food decays over time, and as such, you will begin to you want to. There is no spoil on it, to my recollection. Or rather, an item that spoils becomes a bioscrap, if I recall correctly. No, is that right? No, it becomes rotten food at that point, which you really don't want to eat. You're better off just dying, viewer, and respawning rather than eating rotting food. Is my honest opinion, because you're gonna die anyway, or most likely will if you eat rotten food, given what happens to you. We'll talk about that a little later. Well, we're getting very thirsty, by the way. Let's eat this last bit. We can drink water right out of sinks. There we go. So a little bit. Another pest. Or food.
Hello? Over here.
Hello. We'll be right with you. Nets, by the way, as I hinted at earlier, if you use a net on a pest and stomp it,
You're going to leave me standing here?
Always get a bioscrap. Hello.
Oh, you're new. Looks like that little pest damaged the power system. Can you get someone to fix it? But hurry, would you? I'm not enjoying standing around out here. It was hours last time, and I don't feel safe at all. Well, if you're the only help available, you should set up somewhere and sort this out.
I think Dr. Thule is correct, and Jaeger is probably insufferable. Let's see if Dr. Thule has anything new to tell us about him.
Kinetics were running a perforation experiment. I know it. Dr. Verenkov is too impatient. And look what's happened.
We'll learn about what he's talking about later on. We're getting a little tired. We're a little thirsty. We don't have to use the bathroom quite yet. Let's think. So what's our current objective, game? Dr. Jaeger thinks I may need to step somewhere to get to work if I want to fix this door for him. We have to fix that door for him, or we're not allowed to leave this area. And, well, we'll eventually run out of water and die of thirst. And granted, you could then you just respawn and not have to worry about it, but whatever. Let's go ahead and help this guy out. Should we cover this really quick? I guess so. For items that you can package and then replace on the ground again, you can rotate items to a facing if you would. You can put items on top of other items depending upon what they are as well. Let's leave the toolbox there. Actually, I put the duct tape in the toolbox. Oh, we have more duct tape. I guess we'll grab more text grass, another flashlight. Guess we can put that in the toolbox too. Have an extra flashlight. TV. Let's watch some TV.
Here at the Gate Cascade Research Facility, safety and security demand we take our primary power network offline at night. All major power outlets are shut down, as well as most pathway lighting. However, if your research or study requires a source of energy during nocturnal hours, protocols permit the use of approved battery and electrical storage systems to power your projects when the lights go out. If you do plan on working late, please request a night pass from your supervisor. The facility is dark at night, and your safety depends on it. Now rest up. Every day is a new opportunity for science.
That hints that it's going to get quite dark at a certain point during the day-night cycle. As they turn off all the power, that means these electrical sockets will lose power at nighttime. There's several of these televisions that have information about what's either going on and describes in particular things to potentially someone new who is visiting the facility. They will repeat every maybe 1 to 3 minutes that information. So I generally will watch them once and then we'll throw them out, as you should all televisions. All right. Well, what we're supposed to do is make a crafting station. We are tired and thirsty. Hold on. Let's drink a little bit of water and let's go ahead and lie down for a nap. You play a little mini game when you are resting. You have to jump over the pests. You have a lot of hang time. Sun slowly goes up. And eventually, there you go. You get enough sleep. You can make a bed to get, so you play the game for less of a lengthy amount of time, but it requires a sofa to do it. And if we break down this sofa and we fail to actually package it, well, we can't use it again. We'll show you that very soon. Actually, let's show you it. Out here. No. Yes. Let's do it. Oh, maybe one of these. So, for example, I'm going to try to break down this office desk and package it. I succeeded. That's super awkward. Let's try this chair. I hate you. Please, I want to fail. Let's try the office desk. Okay, this chair? The garbage can. There we go. If you fail to break to package an item successfully, it will be broken down to some parts. In this case, it's a wood plank. If we failed to package this sofa, the sofa's gone, and we would get probably a little bit of cloth and maybe some wood from it. These are all successfully broken down. As we can cover this really quick too. When it comes to items that you successfully break down, the chair's better to show you this. You can never fail to break them down again after you place them back into the world. It's a 100% chance of success. Some things require you to reconstruct them after you place them. This office desk does, for example. To do so, we need to hold down the screwdriver. Notice we're earning construction experience points over there on the left-hand side of the screen. Construction experience points indicates this lets you, I believe, build some things faster? Oh, because we're in the tutorial area, things will be respawning here as well. Normally, duct tape does not respawn, as we have just seen. Let's go ahead and put the desk in the toolbox. Alright, so we need to make what's called a crafting station. So to do that, we need to break down these towers. There we go. Oh, we're filled up on inventory space. Well, they gave us some cabinets. We can go ahead and just put a bunch of stuff in these, I guess. I'll worry about organization a little later. Okay. Well, for a crafting station, it's going to need to be powered also. So we're going to want to place it near one of these, the power sockets we've seen. I think we'll put it in this room. Alright, so to make a... I guess we should talk about this really quick. This is your, as you can see, I'm not going to read that out loud. I'm not going to do that to you guys and read the slides. So this is everything, and these are individual categories based, well, upon the different types of items that you are making. If I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know the name of it, like where it's located, but I know the name, I can start typing it in here, and it will pop it up. Just make sure you have selected all recipes, as if I was to type crafting bench, but I have, say, base defenses selected, it won't show up it won't show up here. Anyway, crafting bench is a structure. Now we get to play, the mini game for this. So, to unlock the recipe for this, assuming the server has it enabled, you have to play this little mini game. Different types of items have different colored backgrounds, and you need to match the correct type of item with a background to the slots, which are located here. So if we select this power supply unit and place it there, it will take either duct tape or glue, probably duct tape, we haven't really seen much glue, and probably metal pipes, given the way this looks. Once the items are in their slots, we can press this big brain, and if we guess successfully, it will go ahead and then allow us to create it from then on. We need 4 pieces of duct tape for this, so let's go ahead and grab some duct tape. You can right-click on an item to bring up this little menu, and I can say split stack, and take 4 of it. You can take the whole thing. You don't need to only take 4. I like just making sure I have only the things I need. I'm weird like that. Okay. Oh, let's talk about this too. We currently are weighing 31 of 64 pounds. When this is our inventory, we weigh 38 of 64 pounds. And if it's not in inventory, it doesn't count. Well, viewer, items placed on your hotbar weigh, I want to say, 25% less than they do in your inventory, with a little bit of exceptions depending upon the type of backpack you are wearing. Right now, we just have our pockets. So we put this crafting bench in our pockets. Don't ask. You managed to do it. If you want to carry around a bunch of heavy stuff and don't want to be weighed down too much, make sure those items are in your inventory. Items you have equipped on yourself do not weigh anything. These lab gloves weigh 1 pound, or 1 weight, whatever it is, 1 stone. When it's on us, it doesn't contribute to our weight allowance. Alright, let's go ahead and place this. I guess there's good. Hold on, I want to move this. That's acceptable. Let's put the TV into a different garbage. All televisions belong. Okay, well, we need to create this bench. Let's go ahead and do so. Hey, we earned a level of construction. Why don't we cover our skills now? Here's all the skills in the game. They have different ranks associated with them, and some skills give you a bonus just for leveling it. Others also give you bonuses, or only give you specific bonuses upon reaching certain levels. These little perks are represented by those symbols that we see. For sneaking, for example, at level 2, we would have learned Sneak Attack. The first attack on an idle or unaware enemy has a 25% chance to deal double damage. If we hover over this, it will also tell us how each individual level might impact us as we level this skill individually. Sprinting affects our amount of stamina we have. Strength affects our carry capacity, as well as, I think, the damage we deal with melee weapons. Throwing is the range at which and damage our thrown items do to things. Sneaking is how close we can be to a creature before it detects us. For combat, oh, I'm sorry. Strength, I think, is just the amount of damage, just the amount of carry capacity we have. These over here are damage. Blunt weapons, sharp weapons, melees. This is accuracy. Affects the damage and the steady rate. Is it damage? No damage. I apologize. If so, this affects various aspects of our ranged weaponry, how fast we reload, and this is our hit points, our constitution. For survival, this is crafting, this is construction, first aid, cooking, agriculture, and fishing. And because we took so long, these towers respawn. You better believe I'm going to break them. As you can see, we also earn blunt experience points not for necessarily beating up creatures, just swinging around this giant desk leg has improved some of our blunt weapon damage. Our blunt weapon skill. Alright, so, well, I guess let's go ahead and craft us some things, right? We need to craft something to get this guy in, but we probably want to outfit ourselves a little bit better. I know that we can make a shield and/or some armor with a few cafeteria trays. That cushioned chest plate, we're going to want that. Some armor is better than no armor in this game. Ooh, that's like the duct tape respawned again. I'm looking on our meters. I have to use the bathroom soon. Alright, perfect. Let's go ahead and craft some armor. But we can't do it yet. Requires powered crafting bench. Well, this is a crafting bench right here. But it's not powered. See that yellow socket symbol? That means this thing needs power to work. Well, there's a power socket right here. And now we've learned why time doesn't advance. If this was allowed to be nighttime, we couldn't power this crafting bench and get out of here. So they won't let the time pass to nighttime until we've actually opened up that door. And now that we've clicked on the crafting bench, we get a bunch of recipes right away for this area. We'll cover some of this in the next video. At the moment, though, let's go ahead and make some armor. We need 3 cloth scraps for that, though. Well, we have 5 right here. That should be enough. Cool. Slap it on our chest. By apron, we'll never use you again. Look how amazing we look. Look at this. That looks incredible. Aren't we the hero? We probably should build a better weapon. I don't really want to use a desk leg. Does 7 damage, plus an additional 4. Plus 1 because of our blunt weapon, I believe, skill, and plus another 3 thanks to that's one starting perk we had. But we can make a... Oh, we cannot make a pipe club. Alright, never mind. We will need to use this then. That's Tim knowing how to about certain items in the game. And unfortunately for Tim, we didn't find any glue. But maybe we can get lucky. There's a little bit more to explore here. Also getting thirsty. So first off, let's go back to the bathroom. We'll drink some water that's here. We have to actually use the bathroom, so let's see the bathroom minigame. Here it is. Hit E over the small meter thing there. You reduce your poop by a lot. The larger one reduces it by not as much. How are we looking? Okay, we're okay. There's a secret, viewer, that I don't see anyone really getting. So we're going to go and get this secret. It doesn't contain anything that you can't find someplace else. But I don't see anyone going for it in the few videos of this game I've seen. Let's go ahead and show it to you. One aspect of this game I really like is it encourages exploring in the game. There is a vent there that is open. We came from that vent all the way over there. does require a walking duck jump to get into it. I've played Half-Life before. You can get more duct tape in here. There's some cloth scraps as well over here to the right. Oh, no, there isn't. Not today. Okay, no, normally there is. Or it was over here. It was over here. Okay. Some more duct tape. And the most important thing that I want to see is another toolbox. A chance at getting either a hammer or some glue. We got no hammer, but we did get 2 glue. I'll take that. I'll take the toolbox as well. That almost always has glue in it, but it's not guaranteed. I did pick up another toolbox. I'm going to put this one there. We'll put the extra screwdriver in that one. Okay, so now that I've got some glue, now we can make a pipe club. It needs a pressure gauge, a metal pipe, and some duct tape. No, and some glue. Sorry, the glue. The thing I said we didn't have. This does 8 damage, 1 more than our desk leg. So we'll be using that as our primary weapon. We can also make a... I think we can. Do we have enough wood? Oh, we need more... We need more wood, and these respawned. We're absolutely going to just take advantage of the fact that we are taking our time here. I would like more wood. Let's see. The odds of us being able to successfully salvage a coffee table is very low. Perfect. You can also bash things down, by the way, to get the parts if you want. We could have just whacked the table a bunch with our desk leg here. But I prefer taking the chance that we'll get what we need by breaking it down. There's another thing I want to make before we start our... before we open that door, and that is a storage crate. We need 2 wood and 2 plastic scraps to make one. If you've watched my Underrail videos, you know I am huge on organization. And we're going to be making lots of these storage crates to help us with that. There we go. Holds quite a bit of stuff. Now, I am, viewer, big, as I just mentioned, on organization. Your storage crates can be named. Or actually, most things can be named. And in the case of storage crates, it'll be written right on the box. Whatever it is that you name it. You can name this stuff, and it'll say stuff on it, for example. You can name other things, like our crafting bench here, for example, can be renamed. There. And then we hover over it, it will keep that name. Some things, once again, like storage crates, actually will have the name displayed directly on it rather than just the tooltip hover. Toolboxes can be done this way too. There we go. Although it's not written directly on the toolbox. Now it is important enough that I want to put all our other electronic stuff there. That would be just these CPUs. Okay, well, let's finally go ahead and make the thing we're supposed to make for the guy outside. So we need to make a energy brick to open up that door. That would be a CPU and a circuit board, some tech scrap, and a case fan. There we go. You do have to bring the things over to the desk in order to craft it. This is not always going to be the case. There are upgrades for your crafting bench. We will cover those later. But there is an upgrade that will allow this crafting bench to pull what it needs from any containers in the area. doesn't sound good. A purpose-made power housing, used for crafting electronics that require power. We don't want to carry this with us. Oh,
Hurry!
He does not like the earthquake. I say I don't like it either. Our first major enemy. We can throw a net on its head to stun it for a few seconds. They can bleed you with their attacks. As you can see, we are now bleeding. Woo! We survived! Heal bleeds. Make sure you have the bandage equipped. And there you go. You can do it from your inventory as well by holding down tab, right-clicking on the bandage, and saying use it. The very first time I played this game, viewer, this killed me. Twice. I was not wearing any armor. I did not have a good weapon. I only had the knife. And I did not know that throwing a net at them will incapacitate them for a few seconds. Then you get 2 to 4 whacks off on them. Better believe, though, we're going to carve this thing up. We are hungry. This thing is made of food. And yeah, if animals didn't want us to eat them, viewer, it wouldn't be made of food. Alright, let's do some more organization. Oh, do I show this as well? Later. Just keep the stuff you don't need to carry in different containers. Food that you're cooking can be burnt, by the way. So we'll go out to that lobby once that's done cooking. We are, after all, a little hungry. I'm getting tired again. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry it took so long to do this part of the game. I'm gonna run it back to the men's room really quick and get something to drink. I did say that we weren't going to have any trouble drinking, and we've already drank most of what's inside the sinks, but we won't have trouble, viewer, very soon. We won't have trouble very soon. Just trust me. That will come back to cook. Alright, let's head on out. We learned about the peccary. That was the name of the giant dog-like creature that killed the poor guy there.
Attention. Enhanced security protocols are now in effect. Please locate security personnel and follow evacuation procedures.
Hey, do I know you?
What the heck just caused me to jump? Hello?
Look, I don't know what's going on. They don't tell me squat on a good day, and this isn't a good day. But if the big voice says, get out, I'd do what she says. Elevators are dead, so head for the main tunnel in manufacturing on level 2. There's Max over there. But me, I'm staying right here.
Fair enough, Warren.
Reckon I'm leaving here? I don't think so. Radio's dead, half the doors are buggered, and now there's these little hoppy things everywhere. You're on your own. But if anything you like turns up, come see me for a trade. You like peas?
He is ready to survive the apocalypse with 100 cans of peas and soda. And he's got a bucket of whether to poop in, a bunch of chips and it looks like Skittles over there. You can trade with Warren. As you find the things he wants, they will show up here. I actually don't know what this is. What is this? Employee locator. A signal beacon that detects the pagers of nearby gate employees. Allows constant detection of other nearby scientists. Oh, okay, I gotcha. They changed this a little bit. A small bit of writing on the label may not detect all nearby gate employees, hiding employees, or entities pretending to be gate employees. It used to be that for trading, there was a giant device out here. You had to drop things into the device, and you would get what was displayed on a visual display that was associated with that object. So peas were here, and you'd have to drop him these fish fillets to get them to get the peas, for example. Now you can trade directly by speaking with Warren directly, which I like much better than the old devices. And here's a map of the area. We are here. Let's take a map. Hey, all right. Now, viewer, maps are kind of useful, but not that useful. They do not show you where you are located on the map. It's like a real-life map, without any GPS or what have you on your phone to indicate where you are in the mall. So, we are located here. Maps give you a general idea of what the area looks like from the floor that you're on. We will still take all the maps. I like collecting them, but we will not be using them to, say, figure out where we're located. This damn facility. The power sockets are on a timer? I was working on mass dampeners and the place is shut down. You know those have to warm up for hours, now I have to start all over again. And just keep your eye on your wristwatch. Don't start a task you can't finish before the facility power goes out. Why the hell were you working at midnight anyway? And get some rest. We can't afford to make mistakes. T. Another warning to you that time is when time becomes night, the power comes out. Speaking of time, viewer, it is now elapsing. We're going to do only one more thing, and we'll be back to actually do this day and several other days in the next video. I want to grab this. A water cooler. It's got a ton of water in it. Well, not a ton, but it's got enough of it that we can probably not worry about being thirsty for the next 2 or 3 days. And there are many water coolers around in this first area of the game. So much so that we will not have to worry about drinking. Alright, I'm going to take a quick nap. And then, viewer, we're going to cut the recording. I'll try to add the tutorial to the end of this. If the video ends in just like another minute, it was because I could not get the tutorial to be added in here without hours worth of video editing for the sound. And I just didn't feel like doing that. Otherwise, we'll do the tutorial, and I'll see you guys there. And if I don't see you again, thank you guys until the next video, well, then I'll see you then. If I don't see you ever again, thank you for watching what you did. I hope this was entertaining. And hopefully maybe you guys learned a thing or two. We'll be doing more describing and tutorializing in the next few videos. I'll see you guys then. Take care, everyone. Or not, or we'll be doing the actual tutorial, the introduction. So maybe I'll see you there.
Almost there. So, ready for your first day?
About as ready as I'm going to be, Lance. Technically, this isn't my first day. We worked at some other Cascade research facility, but it'll be good to work at this one, I suppose. Hope I fit in with the new folks, or the old folks, both types of folks.
There she is.
Well, she's not much to look at. As long as the people here are happy, I suppose I can be too.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Time to get out.
Oh, sorry about that, Lance. You take care, man. See ya. Have a good day. His steering wheel's on the wrong side of the car, though. Alright, everyone, hello! Welcome to the tutorial. We are, as I am guessing from the kangaroo sign out there, in Australia. The only place that I'm aware of that has kangaroos. And it looks like we're not really allowed on this side of the barbed wire fence. Probably nothing out that way. Let's go ahead and visit the research facility and show you what the tutorial is all about. And give you a little bit of a hint as to what's going on in the research facility that we are working at. Again, viewer, this is a basic bare bones tutorial. This is, you know, use the WASD keys to move. You can look around by using the mouse, jump by hitting space, type of thing. There'll be one or two things that is unique to this game, which they will cover kind of quickly and make you do it. But a lot of this, most of it, we actually covered and I've already talked about in the normal game. Yep, here's a jump over things. Amazing. It's not a very big place that we're working at, but, well, doesn't have to be big as long as it pays well, I suppose. Be some sort of, oh, did I say outhouse or electrical building? Seen better days. There's no little chart here that says when it's been cleaned last, so I think we'll skip it. Thankfully, we don't have to use the bathroom immediately. Of course, we should look around outside at everything else except where we're supposed to go first. Okay, they get some diffuse sunlight in here through the back of the building. Got a camera in the back looking for any ne'er-do-wells. That's not us, though. We're doing pretty well, and hopefully we do well here, too. And do good work. Hey, Jackson. Good morning.
Okay, you're the transfer, huh? You sure picked a day. Things a bit hectic downstairs this morning. Just grab your gate pal there. It'll help you get sorted.
Alright, thanks. I was wondering when I get one of these for this facility.
Sorted? Okay. Most of what you need should be in your gate pal. Well, eventually. But you're good to go. Head down to the elevator. It'll take you down to induction, and they'll take care of you.
Alright, well, let's get to it. Really laid back. Information about radiation. It's those dots we talked about briefly. The more dots there are, the more radioactive threat you are in, and the more rapidly you will gain radiation. We have no way to see the radiation we are gaining or have gained at this moment. Later on, if we find a Geiger counter, we will actually be able to scan ourselves in the area around us. This looks like where we're supposed to go. Oh, that was the radiation screening. I didn't realize it was actually putting radiation in you. Hilarious. No one gets in without some radiation.
Morning. Lift's down there. But first, you need a hard hat. Health and safety and stuff. Grab that one and chuck it on. So, you've got what you need. Head through the gate to my left, down to the elevator. It'll take you down to induction.
All right. Follow the blue line. When I was really young, I got to visit where my father worked at a place called AT&T Bell Laboratories in Homedale, New Jersey. And in the lowest area there, the basement levels, they had stuff like this, only they were on the walls, reminiscent of the Half-Life game, indicating how you get from place to place. It was pretty cool. Very high tech down there. I wish I could remember what they were working on, but I was like 8 at the time, and I have no recollection of things that was shown to me. That, or they used some sort of device to make me forget.
Welcome to the Gate Cascade Research Facility. You are in the induction wing. The facility is currently at alert level precautionary. Please listen carefully to and follow all security instructions. Now arriving at staff processing.
We have an emote wheel. We didn't cover this in the game I was playing, actually, which is to say, not during that first hour and a half that we played for. Well, although we briefly showed it.
Hey, new transfer. I got pulled in from surface duty. The usual lady, she got called out to help downstairs. Happens. Chaos is kind of our thing around here. You seem a bit antsy. Just wait. I'll unlock the gate in a second. Now, I've never run someone through this, but it looks pretty straightforward. Coming from the Springer facility, you'll know the basics, but since we deal with specimens directly, everyone on staff has to know basic ECP. That's Emergency Containment Procedures. Okay, now I have some instructions here that aren't really compatible with the current security situation around here, so we're just gonna improvise a bit. Bear with me. I'm gonna have you crawl through that vent down there. Consider it like chasing down an escaped specimen. You got a big brain, you got a big imagination, right?
Took me a while to realize where the vent was he's talking about. It's down there. We heard something unlock. It was probably this door. Work smart. Use it or lose it. Security notice. Facility power systems offline at night. That would be from, I believe, 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. That looks like a level 3 keycard. Security keycard required. Ordo storage. You will learn about what that means in the future. Don't take anything from there. I can't make out what that says, unfortunately, the small text. Standard climb up ladders by looking up when you're on top of them. Teaches you about dismantling. We did plenty of that in the video earlier. And behold, we can actually crouch. Pipe wrenches. Heavy duty wrench. 12 damage. That's more damage than our pipe club in the basic game. Let's go ahead and take it. Ah!
If there's something in your way, because I put it there, there should be a tool down there. Something you can smash the crate with. You might have to look around a bit. And don't worry about smashing stuff. Like, we got a lot of crates. A lot of crates.
Let's take some scrap. We learned how to make a throwing net and a bandage. So the only thing is we can build on the fly. And here is the Ordo storage. I don't remember the people here before. They must have been recently added. That's a lot of Ordos. What was that? Name sounds familiar to me. Deep Space Nine? Deep Space Nine had, I think, someone named Ordo in it. Never really liked the Deep Space Nine series. I was a much bigger fan of Babylon 5 for my space station science fiction show way back in the 80s/90s. A pest!
Oh, what the hell? This damn radio's acting up. There we go. Ugh, all morning. Alright, where were we? They want you to capture a creature. The lady who's supposed to do this, she took all the nets downstairs with her. Look around, maybe you can make one out of something.
So we did pick up some cloth scraps. This is teaching you how to go ahead and pop open your crafting inventory.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking I'd grab like a plastic bag for... You know what? This is why we do the jobs we do here at Gate. Go ahead and throw your fantastic net on the dummy.
That's a pretty good looking dummy. Even makes sound effects as if it was a real pest. That's incredible.
Nice. You've got some athleticism in there. Somewhere. Now, real creatures might wriggle out of that one, but that's not a real creature. So, next step is special containment, isolation, wash hands, inoculate. You know what? Just stomp on it.
that comment about being having some physicality is could be applied to me for real, for real.
Oh, brutal. Okay, so next up, what's going on with your leg there? Looks to me like you're bleeding. Look, we'll call this training, basic first aid. Find some cloth and make a bandage. And, just keep this between us for now. I'll buy you a beer in residence later. Sorry about that.
That's alright, man. You didn't know this was gonna happen.
Okay, you did that way cleaner than I would've. You would, wouldn't you? You're gonna fit right in down there. Looks like you can walk on it all right. Let's head you on through to the next room. Feel free to mosey. I've gotta check some stuff out. We got some weird crap going on today, not gonna lie to you.
Synaptic Labs, it's a weird looking symbol on it. And Residences, that's where we started the actual game from. That's probably where we're going. That's where we're going.
Dr. Derek Mance reporting, Research Director, Gate Cascade Research Facility. After yesterday's fiasco, I've made a formal request to extend general anomaly storage immediately. We've requisitioned Ordo 113, only to discover that some effect from 221 had turned it permanently blue. I've made it clear to Anderson. This is not acceptable. Ordo subjects may be deemed low risk. The range of phenomena is too diverse to jam them together like sardines.
Let's take a look at that journal. Gate operates several tiers of containment protocols. The lowest is Ordo, indicating an item, artifact, or entity is deemed benign or low risk and requires only basic precautions. There are several tiers above this, but I'll need a higher security clearance in Blue to learn about them. If you're familiar with Lobotomy Corporation, or the SCP mythos, I think that's the proper term to use in this instance, the Cascade facility works with similar things, only they term them, or rather use different terms for them, for classifications. I don't remember what an Ordo would be in Lobotomy Corporation. Zion was still somewhat dangerous, depending upon the creature you were working with. Ordo would probably be a classification lower than Zion in Lobotomy Corporation. I've never actually played any of the SCP games, nor am I too familiar with the classifications there, so I couldn't give you what the equivalent would be in that, for that, lore. Investigation? Jane, what's this I'm hearing about an investigation into our security? Has anyone spoken to you about it? Relax, Richard. It doesn't concern anyone in your sector. It's the labs team. You know how they are. Always scared someone's leaking information. Mans, that was a gentleman we just heard earlier, suggested the executive committee thinks someone may be monitoring our data network. I thought that was impossible. The farm needs to know about this. We're the ones who work with the data day in, day out. Look, Mads is great at theorizing, but sometimes he lets his imagination run away with the facts. It's all speculation at this point. We haven't detected anything beyond a few probing actions. Our data is secure. Let them know it's under control, because it is. Fungus? Hey, you asked me to get in touch if we found any applications for new materials. You remember that fungus the Nora's team brought back? We did some tests. This stuff makes penicillin look like tap water. I reviewed the report. You're cleared for phase 2. Someone needs to go back in there. We need more samples. The Silo 2 systems are online. I think another venture should be fine. I'll talk to TR. They're itching to get back in there. Not everything that they find apparently is hostile, or even, rather, well, Dr. Menz did mention benign. I was going to say, neutral, but it looks like we've found something that can work, hopefully, to deal with antibiotics in this world. Deal with various, oh my goodness. Why can't I think of the name? Bacterial infections. There we go. I know I would have been on something like that a year and a half ago, back when I was being treated for leukemia. We didn't cover vending machines when I played it for the past hour and a half. But you have some money. You can spend money on the vending machines. Everything's a buck, which tells you there is no way this takes place in 2025. A pack of gum, viewer, was like $2.50 where I work. That's ridiculous. And a can of soda is $2. What the heck is happening? Why are things so expensive? Looks like with water, it's free.
So, I'm betting they didn't have these at Springer.
They did not.
It says here, all gate staff at Cascade need to understand the facility's unique power system. It goes into a lot of detail only an egghead would want. No offense. Every power socket here comes with its own little extension cable, and we build everything purpose-built for those sockets. So what you're gonna do, you need to package the heater, place it back down near the power socket, and then... Okay, now I know that was a lot. I'm getting some weird interference on my radio. I'm gonna leave you to the whiteboard down there. You might need a screwdriver. I'll get back to you in a minute.
We did very little packaging in the game we just played. We'll do a whole lot of it in the next episode.
Station 3, what's going on? Over.
Grab the
Station
screwdriver.
3, Station 2. I'm getting a lot of chatter. Keystone running some kind of shady op again. I didn't see a bulletin. I'm trying to finish up some work here. Okay, just let me know if it's any GKers coming my way. They creep me the hell out. Over.
Oh, that's a little new. GKs must mean gatekeepers. I haven't actually seen more than one live gatekeeper in all of the games every time I played through the game so far, and that was basically just an informant NPC. But they're supposedly a new faction that we now have to worry about in the game. Looking forward to seeing them.
Hey, nice work plugging in that plug. We're done here. There's some stuff on this list, but I don't reckon you're gonna need it. That's why you've got people like me around. Keep you safe. Looks like I gotta check on some situation topside. So, yeah, head to the elevator. It'll take you down to residences. Real cozy stuff. Clipboard here says you're looking for a Dr. Khan? It sounds familiar. I guess he's in charge of the rest of your orientation. Alright, onward to science. Well, for one of us anyway.
Nothing you take here comes with you to the actual game. A heads up. So the heater, none of just the wrench, the screwdriver, nets, flashlight, none of it comes with you. It's all left behind. So doing a tutorial is mostly just in case you have never seen any of this before and just want to get a little bit of lore. And viewer, that ends also the tutorial. That is it. Nothing else is covered here. Let's take the elevator down, and we'll hear the PA system tell us a little something on our way down.
Attention. This is a high-priority safety broadcast. You are currently en route to Residence Level 7. Due to an active security situation, advanced safety precautions are in effect. This elevator will be redirected to Offices Level 1. Please remain in place and wait for security team assistance.
And that's it, everyone. Hope you guys liked episode 1. Hopefully, this part combines into the prior part, which is to say the same video, but everything we did actually in the game itself, what that wasn't the tutorial. Fine. That video came out fine. So, I'm expecting this to come out fine, and when I combine them is when I have the trouble. Assuming everything is good, I hope you guys liked the tutorial too. When we come back, we'll actually be playing the game, finally. And I will see you, well, and by that I mean getting beyond just the very introduction of the actual game, which is still mostly a tutorial. And I will see you guys then. Take care, everyone, and thanks for watching.